Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Dominic.
And my name is Given.
And this is the Young Entrepreneurs Podcast. Everybody, it is episode 4.
Woo!
And we are doing our first episode in 2020.
And that's why our topic today is called Plant Your Seeds in 2020.
Oh man, I am super excited about this year. I know I say it, a lot of people and most people say, hey, this is going to be the year. Well, and I've said that, man. Of course, I've said that before.
The year, the decade, everything.
I think it's because of the decade, but I really do feel big and strong things happening this year, and I am not giving myself 1 second of slack.
I agree with that. I'm fully not giving myself any slack in any aspect. You can't slack.
No, you cannot. So how was everybody given? How was your New Year's?
It was good. A lot of thinking, a lot of planning. Definitely using those SMART goals from the last episode.
Exactly.
As soon as the clock turned and the hangover wore off, then it led into me planning my goals and prepping for the new decade and new year and everything. So
you partied?
I didn't really party too much. It's always good to hang out with your friends. It's always good to hang out with your friends on.
No. It's of course it is. It's I'm just lying. I didn't work that day. I went out. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's okay.
I went out. It was my day off. But back to work. Everything today we're still doing the podcast because things, even when things are in a pause, everything still has to get done. The world doesn't stop.
Yeah, and the last one was right after Christmas Day. So
yeah.
We continue and we strive.
The world does not stop for anybody. So pretty much, let's get into it on how to plant your seed in 2020, or how to excel in 2020, how to do, be successful in 2020.
Especially as a young entrepreneur.
Well, I wouldn't even say being successful, making 2020 a successful year.
Overall, yeah.
Right, and so let's get started into it. You want to take the lead?
Yeah, so really the first thing we both kind of thought about for a topic, or the first, category for our topic is overall, stop bullshitting yourself. Never a good thing, but the easiest way to fall is if you're bullshitting yourself.
Yeah, I think most people, when we talk about bullshitting yourself, I think the way I look at it is that some people they might talk a big game, but they don't put in any actions behind that. So at the end of the day, they are bullshitting themselves because how can you, even as a person, you got to know, you have to understand and know that you're talking up that big game, but you're not putting any actions behind it, and that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize right away, and they're like, oh, hey, until a couple years or a year or two down the road, they're like, well, what really did you do? You've talked about all this stuff, but what really did you do? Did you put in actions to, and if you did, great, but don't tell yourself or make yourself think that you've accomplished a day when you really didn't. There's one, it was a big CEO, I forget who his name was, and he asked his employees at the end of the day, before they take off, they come in and he says, hey, can we go home? And he says, if you feel like you accomplished this day and you feel like it was a successful day,
you can leave.
You can go.
I've heard of that as well, yeah.
But if you, and me personally, if I'm not working or doing anything for the podcast example, or if I'm not doing pretty much anything from the time I wake up to the time I pretty much go to sleep, or right before I go to sleep.
Unsatisfied with the day.
We've
talked about this.
I feel like I missed out on a whole day. So, that's kind of how I feel on it. You got to understand, you got to actually, put in the actions behind your word.
Yeah, 100%. It takes a lot of effort, self-discipline to get there. But But once you find your spot and build a habit, then eventually it'll start happening, and things will go the way you want them to, as long as you're taking action.
Yeah, I mean, it's I recently watched this video too, and I think a lot, like, he talked about 25% of your success that you may get it from, or what you're achieving, comes from hard work. Only 25% of that. Other things are, persistence and, doing things as, and, constantly trying to look for, changes in the world and how we can change our game and how we look at certain platforms, and,
It's perspective and seeing things through a different looking glass, really.
Exactly. And
like, I don't know if you've heard about like lenses before, but like, you can use lenses on aspects of life and look at things in a different way, which can really give you like a motivation or a push.
Right, and you wanna look for what's up and coming in 2020. We have big things that are coming. TikTok. I know a lot of people don't like TikTok. I really don't care for it, but
man, I shied away from the beginning.
But the thing is, like, right now we are in a point where, okay, TikTok can be, it's more for younger kids and music and things like that, but
it's for everyone.
But they thought about the same thing about Instagram as well, and look where Instagram's at now.
Yeah.
TikTok, even if it's not around forever, if it's around for 10 years, it's definitely something worth getting into.
100%, yeah.
And I think us as entrepreneurs, us as business people, us as athletes, us as actors, us as music producers, us as rappers, vocalists, whatever, we should take advantage on how organic TikTok is.
Yeah, and it's simple short videos. I mean, it's kind of like Vine. Like, Vine was such a quick thing.
Well,
but lots of people have gotten careers off of just making Vine videos. Like, what was it, 7-second videos?
Yeah, and
that's what pushed them to, be where they are now.
And yeah, and it's most people, it's something just to produce, and it's very organic. You can post something with 7 followers and get 30,000 people to like the video or comment. Like, that's how. And Instagram used to be like that, and obviously it's not like that as much anymore.
No, because it's flooded by competition and it's saturated,
Right, and that's why TikTok, if you're gonna get into it now, and you should be posting like on there, and I think we can really change the game on how TikTok is. I think if if influencers or business owners or whatever got on there and just started flooding the market on that. Right. Side instead of these young kids, I think really the whole game can change.
Yeah, and one thing too is, I wanted to lead into this. Basically, if you were giving yourself a reason to not start, now you have a reason to. First of all, because it's a new year, new decade. Start now. Everyone else is doing it too. I mean, mostly everyone who has a plan for 2020. But start now because you have a reason to. Also, this account for this podcast, we don't even have a TikTok yet. But after this video, we're going to start a TikTok, and you'll be able to see the growth over time, even if it is a little slow. But, I mean, we're starting ours now, so start yours now,
Exactly. And we are looking forward to what 2020 has to offer. And so, that's what, and you got to keep pushing and looking for new platforms, and you might not like it, but it's something that you got to do right now to do what you want to do in the future. Everything that you do right now is your end goal, and pretty much, and I like to say nothing great that happens is easy.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing. You're nothing great.
Nothing comes easy.
I mean, you think the Wall of China, you think that was easy to build? You think...
I actually just watched a video earlier today of Will Smith, and he was talking about, you can't just build the whole wall at once. You got to place one brick at a time. Mm-hmm. And one brick could be considered a day or a week or whatever. But obviously, planting those seeds, one brick at a time, that's what's going to get you to the end goal of building your wall.
Exactly.
It has to be a daily consistency thing.
It does, and it's something that, like you said, daily consistency, dedication, you got to actually see the vision in front of you, because do you know what is the most powerful thing on earth?
What is it?
Your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because
Especially
if you get a
they're
good
positive.
yes, well, if you get a big thought, a vision, something that you can fully see all the time, and you can see it, that is the most powerful thing ever. Because do you know what the human body can do when it actually puts its mind to something? Anything is possible.
Yep.
Anything is. Well, oh, we weren't going to be able to fly. Yeah, well, now you got airplanes to fly, you know.
Yeah.
You know, how did everybody get around back then? They had horses. Oh, now you got cars. Now you got self-driving cars.
And the way it was done is through one brick at a time. I mean, like,
You think they would have said that back in the, Western days where, oh,
we're going to have electric cars that drive themselves. No, they weren't thinking that. They
No,
were thinking, we're going to have this horse, and we thought of an idea for a buggy, and we're going to tow the buggy behind the horse. You know, like that's.
And it's all about, moving forward and just keep on working at what you're doing and what you want to accomplish. Because I mean, I probably say this enough, but like, if I can even be at where I'm at today, anybody could be there. Like anybody could
can
do
be
it.
anywhere.
Anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. Like, I mean, and like, would I ever think I could actually do it? But I did, and I could, and that's why I really want to see other people grow. Because, and even if I can't get it with them, I still want to see you, thrive. And because I understand that really at the end of the day, I know you can do it.
Right.
But a lot of people are lazy, and they don't want to actually take the time and and to make a better future. And then once that time comes, they want to be where we could already have a better future, when they're just like, oh well, I'm gonna do that now, and then
Yeah, I think it's
twice as hard.
It's that, and it's also just like other things that they think are constraining them when really they're not constraining them. There's always a way around it if you really want to reach that goal.
Yeah.
And once you're already in that mindset and you're on that straight up path, like the one lane to where you want to be,
Nothing can stop
and you're
you.
doing the things that you want to be doing 10 years down the road already, you'll be at that point.
Mm-hmm. Nothing will stop you.
Nothing is holding you back, even if it's a financial thing or anything else regarding that. Nothing is holding you back.
I had a warehouse fire in my first 6 months, and I lost everything with like $600 to my name to buy all new equipment and products and do it. And I didn't think, I was like, well, okay, well, most people would have stopped at that point. Well, no, you keep doing it. I went and did it, and I did it, and I did it again, rebuilt it again, and that's the thing. It's like, you get on that, mindset, and a lot of people complain too. A lot of people complain
Complaining
about their
is
life,
just
and
negative mindset, which doesn't
there's
help.
70% of people have it worse than you. So stop.
Yeah, literally.
You know?
Another thing is too, like, I literally, when I left Grand Valley, I had my apartment over there, like off campus, and my lease ended, didn't have a place to live, so I literally had all my stuff packed in a minivan for a whole week, and I was kind of living at friends' houses and slept in the van like once. It was not a fun time, but those things happen, and I'm still here doing what I love today, and I have a great place, and it's just, you can't let those things get to you. Like, there has to be a downfall to reach the top of the mountain. You all right, Dom?
Yeah.
Slammed his leg.
Up my hand. Yeah.
Close enough.
But yeah, I mean, exactly, and we all, and I think a lot of people complain. Like, I've realized, like, oh yeah, there's moments that are, I don't think that are tough. But at the end of the day, even for you or anybody, even if you're listening to this right now, you can probably look back on a moment that was tough. Now you can look back on it from now, and you got through it, because you're still where you're at today. And
when that happened, dude, I was literally in the mindset of like, this is just one of the downfalls. This is just how I'm gonna grow.
Right, and it's you're gonna go. You always get through it. You do, and that's the thing. And most people don't believe in themselves when they or believe in something else or a higher power or even themselves. But like, you always get through it, because if you don't, then you wouldn't be here, right now.
I mean, time keeps moving, things keep moving, which
And
means
your
you
life
keep
does,
moving.
yeah, exactly.
Also, by growth, I'm not really referring to growth as in like social media growth. I'm talking about like personal growth and like dealing with the constraint of yourself. really like it's mental growth and just mindset growth overall. That's very important before you even take the push to try and grow in any other aspect.
Right, and it's you want to, and not even in 2020, you should be always wanting to grow. Like, never stop, wanting to grow. Always learning, trying to find more wisdom or, things like that. That's kind of what you want to do, and that's how, you read books, learn, talk to older people, realize, see what they learn, and if you just take what, and you might, and I do it the same thing. I have, my parents, my grandparents, everybody telling me wisdom stuff, and you might not want to listen to them, but hey, they're honestly telling the truth because
they've been through a lot.
They've been through it. They might not know everything, and they don't know everything.
No one
so always
does.
take your opinion into advice too, but they know a lot and they've been through it. So just take their opinion, and that's how I do it. I just take their opinion, and that's why. And I look at it from that, and sometimes there's right, and there's sometimes like, well, maybe I'll take their opinion and my opinion and put it together and figure something out from there.
Combine
exactly.
effort. Yeah. So the next thing I wanted to go into is who you should be surrounding yourself with. The type of people you should be surrounding yourself around, and that's really with those who you strive to be like. I mean, that's kind of something I've heard in the past. Like if you want to be like the people that you are around, that's like the only way to become a person like that. If you're hanging around with the right crowd, if you're with the wrong kind of crowd and they're doing things that are holding you back or whatever, then you can still be their friend, but you kind of have to have like a barrier of, this is what I want to do with my life, and this is not the path I want to take.
Exactly. You got to have limitations on those friends, and I really didn't. We've all heard it throughout since we were in elementary. Oh, you are who you surround yourself with. We've heard of that since elementary. We really have. So, what I really think about it is that, I didn't realize it until maybe like almost 3 years ago, a couple years ago.
Pretty much after high school.
Yeah, and I really, after high school, I didn't realize that on how true that statement is on you are actually who you will be who you hang out with. You will, and you want to be, you want to be somebody, you want to be something one day. I would hang around with people that are something or
people that want to be something too, because that positive vibe kind of
exactly,
it boosts everyone up in all aspects.
Yeah, I mean it's those type of people you go network and you find those type of people because they have what you don't have, and maybe you have something that they don't have. Always look at your connections, and that's the biggest thing. Connections build us. Connections are everything, because otherwise nobody would be doing anything. If we didn't talk to anybody, we couldn't do big things. But connections are like the people that are going to be able to help you throughout, and help you thrive as you grow. And don't expect it right away, but it'll happen throughout your lifetime.
Yeah, and as always, it takes a long time.
Exactly.
Time is key.
Exactly, and another thing, I just kind of want to say too as well. Like, I mean, we're telling you all this 2020 excitement stuff, and it might get to you, and I'm really, like I said, I'm really stoked about 2020, and I can feel it, but I'm definitely not letting it get to me, because I'm starting on it now, and I'm like I'm going and going, and I know I'm not, and I'm not going to let it
it's like a reassurance.
disappoint me, right, and I know
because you were already doing stuff before, and I was already doing stuff, but
right.
it's a reassurance, like a checkup,
Right, and it is, and that's why I'm excited about, but, for most people it fades, and you might feel it now. Why most people say, hey, I'm going to lose all this weight during winter, or during, after, or stop, smoking, or...
And then a month, 2 weeks later, a month later...
Yeah, they're back at it, and it's like, well, they say it takes a habit, to get into a habit, it takes like 6 months.
Yeah,
it's like 6 weeks.
Yeah, we've mentioned this before.
Yeah.
Really that, what you're talking about, though, is like a glow period, basically you're all excited and pumped, new decade, new year, like that's exciting to everyone.
You have to find something that motivates you, I think.
Right, and basically what I wanted to say is, like, set yourself up for when this period of motivation fades, you know, because it's gonna happen. It happens with business conferences. It happens everywhere. You know, there's a glow period, and then it goes away. And when it goes away, if you don't set yourself up for when it's supposed to happen, then you're just gonna end up in the same downfall as you were in 2019. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and it's something that we can all work on, but we have to make sure we are, you know, being consistent about it. And you guys can be. It's possible. Don't think it's not possible, and don't, you know, I don't want you to, you know, listen to this video or, you know, or get on this, you know, this high of 2020 because and then it fades in 32 hours, 48 hours, you know.
Right, and then you're just back to your
72 hours, you know, then it's
whatever
bad.
else
And
you were
then
doing.
don't let it fade. Put it into action now. That way every single day motivates you throughout then. And then even now, today, you know, I'd put in the work every single day, and there's days that I'm like, I don't feel motivated, but, you know, there's ways that you can keep yourself motivated, and that's maybe a different type of podcast, but...
And, well, that really falls into what we were just talking about with friends and who you surround yourself with. I mean, like, if you tell people this is what I'm doing, and then after that period goes by...
Yeah, but if you don't have any people that you don't, you know, right away.
No, but then, you know, work on it.
Keep yourself motivated. So like
right.
Without other people, I'm saying like.
No, I'm just saying that's like a good way.
Right,
you know,
right. No, I get what you're saying.
Like having people check up on you is very, very important in order to keep your goals and habits strong.
Well, yeah, and then there's many ways though that you can do things too. You know, it's difficult. I guess self-discipline would be one. Self-discipline.
Well, yeah,
is a big one.
and then
but like that's a whole different.
I know we bring this up all the time, but you know, it's just like thinking of extra ways to keep you on track is the goal. Another thing is, you know, now that it is 2020. Start creating, like create, and it's always going to feel a little bit awkward at first. You know, it's always awkward. You know, the first podcast you do, the first video you make, the first anything. If you're feeling uncomfortable with it, just try it out. And if it doesn't, you know, if it doesn't appeal to you, that it doesn't look as good as you think, then make another one. You know, do it over and over again until it looks how you want it to look. You know, that's really important to me. What do you think about that, Dom?
It's something, you know, yeah, I mean, you want to be able to, you know, focus on what you're doing, you know what I mean? And actually, you know, like, it's hard to word for me. Like, I would say it's probably more of a, you know, like a consistency thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like when you start, you know, create, like it's always a little awkward, you know, the first time you do it.
It's definitely awkward, but the thing is, it's like you can keep on, you can go, you know what I mean? Like if you just do it and you don't even look at the video. And
well, yeah, that's what I was saying, to get over the awkwardness.
Yeah,
you know,
but that's why most people don't do it, because they watch the video at the end. That's why they feel awkward about it.
But if they don't like it, just do it again, you know? I mean, if that's what it comes down to.
I don't even look at them. Like, I take a video, boom, post. I don't even look at them.
Yeah, dude, like, I get the concept of that. But then again, you know, like, some people are more, you know, self-aware of what's going on, and they don't want to just post something without like looking at it.
But that's what holds people back, though. It's like they're afraid of why do they feel awkward though? Is because they're afraid of what other people have to say, and at the end of the day, you shouldn't care at all. It's like It's like going back to middle school and people cared about your clothing, what clothing you wear. But I don't care if you wear $100 pair of, you know, sunglasses, Gucci sunglasses. I don't care if you wear $100 pair of, you know, Gucci flip-flops. I don't care.
Or if you're wearing like a pair of shoes from Walmart, I guess.
Right, it doesn't impress me. You know, these materialistic things, and that's why most people, you know, get caught up in that, and then they worry about what people have to say about them. Just post what you need to post. Don't care, because the only person that should be worrying about yourself is you.
Right, and then is there really even a point in worrying? Because if you just worry, it's not going to change anything.
No, and you should be creating content every day, and that's why I restructured my business now, you know, and it's like, okay, I'm not focusing on the detailing, I'm focusing on the media now, and I'm posting, you know, I'm creating content like so much lately, and I've gotten so much good feedback on it, like good ROI on my content.
Right.
You know,
And
that I'm posting.
is anyone really going to say anything that bad?
I don't.
The worst they can do is ignore it.
I post some ugly ass videos of myself talking about some stuff on my.
But it's
Snapchat,
documented.
and you see that stuff, and everybody sees it, and not one person will say anything. Nobody's ever said anything to me about it. On the thousands of the many I have done,
Right.
and not one person have said anything. They might say, "Oh, good one," good podcast or good, snap or whatever, but not like be mean about it. They just
Right.
like they're like, like kind of laugh, but not like
They're
that.
probably thinking like, "Dang, I need to get on my shit."
And
that's-
most of the time, and I don't think really like I try to influence some people, but I don't mean to be like all big and stuff. And I get a lot of feedback even when I post on my Snapchat, like that, like people are like, oh, hey man, thanks for the motivation for the day. And I get people, I met somebody. Oh, I met somebody. I know some people I don't even see, and he's got me on Snapchat. This guy, I seen him over on New Year's, and he's like, "Dude, your content is great. Is keeping me motivated." I said, "Right on."
There you go. And they won't tell you till they see you.
Right, and it's like you don't think about it, just do it. And that's what most people do.
Yeah. So maybe that's a big thing for 2022. Don't think, just do.
Exactly. That's what. Not even. That's
100%.
Yeah. Exactly. That should have been the topic.
It's okay. Planting your seeds is pretty important too.
No, exactly.
But
So.
don't think, just do. I mean, you're still thinking, but it's not the same kind of thinking. You're doing, thinking
Exactly.
how you're gonna do it, but you're just doing it.
So, all the listeners out there, what I want you to do is take this information in as you learned it. You might not have to take everything in, but take it in because you learned it and you want to acknowledge that you learned it, and then you can put it in with your opinion on what we've said. We don't know everything. We're telling you our views on it. We're telling you on what we've seen. So take that in. Make 2020 a great year. Don't
Yes.
let anybody tell you what to do. I want you guys to, start hanging out with some better people that you can associate with, and people that are going to create a value to not only yourself but to your future. And then,
You can do the same to them.
exactly, stop bullshitting yourself. And also, don't get on this 2020 high. Actually, just do it. Don't think about it.
Right.
Just do that. And with that, I will see you at the top.
Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you.